San Miguel Beermen. You know, this is a very quaint matchup because this is nothing more than an exhibition game between two teams, one of whom is already securely in to the finals, and another team who is already hopelessly out. So for all practical intents and purposes, this is an exhibition game. But don't take it very lightly because I'm sure the Great Taste coffee makers or instant milk masters would want to show the same kind of fire that they displayed against the Ginebra San Miguel's only a few nights ago, which saw them upend the Ginebras and which cost the Ginebras one hell of a sleepless night, wondering whatever hit them. And this being also the farewell performance of the Great Taste Instant Milk Masters, I figured they would want to go out with a bang and not with a whimper. After all, they are, well, one of the two championship teams, the biggest or winningest teams in the last two seasons of the PPA. On the other hand, San Miguel Beer, notwithstanding the fact that it still has two games to play, has already laid claim to the first finals berth. And so it doesn't matter whether they lose this game or their last game on Sunday. What they can possibly do is probably play the spoilers role when they do go up against the Shell Azucord Super Bugbusters in their final semifinal assignment. That's a nice way of putting it. Their final semifinal assignment this coming Sunday. All right, the referees for this contest are Messrs. Ronnie Besabe, Minardo Felipe, and June Ocampo. Loose ball foul has been called on Abit Gidabin. A quick look at the lineups. We've got Ray Ramos. Incidentally, the Instant Milk Masters are in the dark-colored uniforms. If you're watching this in color, that's actually resplendent blue with yellow trim. Bernie Fabiosa is there along with Aldo Perez, Kennedy, and Noli Banate. For the San Miguel Beermen, who are in the light-colored uniforms, we have that illustrious import Bobby Parks, the high-leaping dragon Samboy Lim, Abit Girabin, the front-runner for the MVP race this year, Ibis Dignadice, and that was Samboy Lim who missed on a fadeaway. Fifth man, who also is playing the point guard role, is Franz Pumarin. Here's Kennedy on the Great Taste side of the floor. It's now 6-5, Great Taste up by 1. And the referees who are officiating this contest are Messrs. Ronnie Besabe, Minato Felipe, and June Ocampo. Incidentally, the coach of Great Taste, Baby the Lupan, is still down with the flu. It looks like bad news always comes in pairs. First we had that killer typhoon, and now we've just gotten the sad tidings that the father of Baby Dalupan, the eminent Dr. Francisco Dalupan, passed away last night. So our heartfelt condolences to Coach Baby Dalupan and the rest of the family of the late Dr. Francisco Dalupan. This initial game I mentioned is a no-bearing affair, but we do have a dynamite of a ball game in store for you for the main event. Hills Brothers going up against Shell Azucord. As everybody knows, these two clubs are running second to San Miguel Beer in the team standings, and tonight these two clubs are going to part ways, and whoever wins tonight's contest will probably have the inside track on the second final slot. They can at least be assured of a tie for that second final slot. What with Ginebra San Miguel still within challenging distance, despite their loss to Great Taste only a few nights ago. 5-point lead for Great Taste with 8 minutes and 14 seconds to go in the first quarter. Noli Banate misses at point-blank range. Here's a fast break in the verse for the San Miguel Beermen. You know, Norman Block will probably take this ball game as some kind of a scrimmage and a good practice opportunity for the final series. And it doesn't matter who they are going up with. I am certain it is going to be one hell of a finals playoff. And that's Bongo, who is filling the shoes of Baby Dalupan. Actually, he has filled the shoes of Baby Dalupan in the last two games of Great Taste. I mentioned that this is going to be the swan song for the Great Taste Instant Milk Masters. And they probably will be going on a long vacation, wondering whatever happened to their campaign. In all fairness to the Great Tasters, they were hampered by player injuries, the most notable of which was the absence of Ricardo Brown, their playmaker, and who, for all practical intents and purposes, had been playing the role of heart and soul for the team. At times, too, they missed the services of Abe King and some other key players, including the shoe-in for the Rookie of the Year award, Alan Paydick. And that's why now they find themselves in this rather humiliating position. Here's Noli Banate, the follow-away against Abit Girabin. It's a tad short. Abit Girabin secures control of the other for the white shirts of San Miguel. They're lagging behind by 2 points. Here's Franz Pumarin banging bodies with Aldo Perez. He extricates. Oh, beautiful. The little guy is proving his worth tonight. He didn't get very much exposure from Coach Norman Black, what with the magnificent performances of Hector Calma and Elmer Reyes as point guards for San Miguel Beer in their elimination and semifinal assignments. Well, Franz Pumarin figures to get his bearings just in time for the final playoffs. Pumarin from the corner, in and out, into the hands of Aldo Perez. We don't have exactly a standing room only sign posted outside the Ultra. I would say about 200 people are present right now. But then, who can blame them? Well, we expect this number to probably improve as the main game approaches, because there are some basketball fanatics who will brave hell or high water just to see a great basketball game. And that's what the Hills Brothers Shell encounter promises to be. Bernie Fabiosa. Perez, three-point shot is on the way. Won't go. Abed Kirabin had the inside track on the rebound. Here's Samuel Lim in open court. The Skywalker with a tentative move there. Ives Dignadice walking the tightrope, but keeping it alive for San Miguel Beer. Remember, San Miguel can afford to lose this ball game as well as their last assignment on Sunday, and they already have a hold on one of the final spreads. If they do go on to win the championship, this would be the third trophy for the San Miguel franchise. Ives Dignadice lost the ball to the sideline, and we have the first timeout. We shall return. Okay, you're back with us at the Ultra. It's Great Taste versus San Miguel Beer, and that's Kennedy with a beautiful escape act to make it a 4-point lead now for Great Taste at 14-10. We're past the halfway point of the first quarter. In case you're wondering why I'm doing a solo act today, well, it so happened that Joaquin Trillo was waylaid by Typhoon Sisang, but he is gallantly trying to pick up his bearings, and I understand at last report that he is only 2,000 miles away from the Ultra. So he should be here before Christmas. All right, here's Kennedy against Dignadice. Franz Pumarin has picked up Bernie Fabiosa. Bernie has taken over the orchestrating chores for the Instant Milk Masters as Kennedy misses on a turnaround. Noli Bonatti tries his own version of a turnaround, which came out a lot poorer. And here's Bobby Parks. Oh, this guy is certainly going to be a top contender for the Import of the Year award. Unproductive thrust by the San Miguel Beer men. There's absolutely no pressure riding the shoulders of the San Miguel Beer men. And Noli Bonatti fighting tooth and nail for the rebound, gains it for Great Taste. Bernie Fabiosa. 4:24 to go in the first quarter. Ray Ramos coming over to receive the ball. He has to cope with Samboy Lim. Kennedy gets a good pick from Noli Bonatti and sinks it from 15. Hector Calma is still riding the bench. Well, he should be seeing action maybe sometime in the second quarter. This is a beautiful opportunity for Norman Black to give his entire bench some exposure, because he probably will need the entire depth of his bench to come up with a championship, no matter who they face. If they go up against Chalazucourt, that's going to be a tough assignment. If they go up against the Hills Brothers, it's going to be a tough assignment. If they go up against the San Miguel, it's going to be a tough assignment. Any way you look at it, it's not going to be a lark or a picnic for the San Miguel Beermen. Gidatin with a beautiful move, and you know why. He is leading the race, and he is practically the winner of the MVP award, barring any injuries that may befall him on the way to the championship. Even then, I doubt if anybody else can catch him. Here's Franz Pumarin. Fontalasong to the basket using the glass. 18-16, just a 2-point lead now for Great Taste with 3:22 to go. Team Foul Picture shows Great Taste with 2 against only 1 for San Miguel. I was talking about Hector Calma. He sports Crosby rubber shoes, the official basketball shoes of the PBA. Ball knocked away. It goes out of bounds in favor of Great Taste, and Ives Dignadice is checking out just as soon as this timeout is called. With 3 minutes and 8 seconds to go in the first quarter, Great Taste continues to show the way. They're up by 2, 18-16. Well, understandably, San Miguel Beer is not really letting it all hang out. They don't want to risk any unnecessary injuries before the championship playoffs, but I'm sure they would want to prevail over Great Taste if only to put themselves on a high moral note in preparation for the championships. It's import versus import right now. Bobby Parks against Kennedy. The drive inside heavy traffic draws a foul. Incidentally, we'd like to congratulate, well, not congratulate, issue birthday greetings to Bobby Parks of San Miguel. Is it today? He's celebrating his birthday right now. Wow, no wonder Typhoon Season came to join the party. Likewise, we would like to say happy birthday to our very charming, extremely lovely Diana Puruganan of Vintage Enterprises. No wonder I don't see her around. She's hiding from her blowout. Oh, she's there? Okay, happy birthday, Diane. And you can't hide from the blowout. Well, that's a 1-point lead now for Great Taste, 2019, with 2.5 to go in the first quarter. 3 team fouls for Great Taste against only 2 for San Miguel Beer. Beautiful cut inside by Kennedy. Abe King is a Johnny-come-lately here for the Great Taste Instant Milkman. He came at about the same time I did. While normally players have to be around at least 30 or 35 minutes before game time. So I don't know if he will be seeing action. He might be placed in the doghouse, but then he has a very legitimate reason for coming late. After all, the roads are littered with all kinds of debris as a result of typhoon season. Aldo Perez loses it to the very quick hands of Franz Pumarin, forcing Perez to give up the preemptive foul. That was a smart foul to give, averting what could have been a sure basket for San Miguel Beer, but that's his third personal. Ray Ramos checks in. No, checks out for Joey Carpio. Noni Robles, likewise, is seeing action for the first time in place of Aldo Perez. Watch out for a very special production on the exploits of the most sensational boxer in the horizon these days, the bantamweight Luisito Espinosa. Luisito Espinosa in the making of a champion soon on TTV4. 3-point shot, Kennedy. And he comes up with a very sheepish grin, apparently very embarrassed by the miss. Almario with a snapshot. He doesn't have his rifle tonight either, but Bobby Parks keeps on going strong. Probably the characteristic, the hallmark of this young man's performance on Philippine soil since he came is his consistency. He may not be the most spectacular, he may not be the most flamboyant, he may not be the most flashy import around, but he certainly has delivered the goods for Norman Black. Elmer Reyes, likewise, is showing the stuff that made him a front runner or a starter for San Miguel Beer in many of their crucial games. As a result of which, we now have a 3-point lead for San Miguel Beer at 25-22 with less than a minute to go in the first quarter. Isolation play, Kennedy against Bobby Parks. Bernie Fabiosa draws the foul. Illegal defense, I'm sorry. Idabin was singled out as the culprit since it's only the first infraction. It's only a warning. Subsequent violations, of course, will automatically result in technicals. Pito Harencio is also getting some exposure from Norman Black. Like I said, Norman certainly would like to give the entire depth of his bench some playing time at least in preparation for the championship playoffs. Robles goes to Kennedy. He lobs it into Noli Banate. Snapshot by Alan Kaitek, and the rifle is still absent. And you can see Waki Trillo, parang basang sisiw, making his way to the door and headed straight for the booth. We'll give him 20 lashes. Inside to Gidabin, the hook shot is no good. Score unchanged at 25-22 with 25 seconds to go in the first quarter. Noli Banate aims from the corner. Very sloppy shooting in this first quarter, which accounts for the rather low figures of Bobby Parks. Ever the reliable, consistent one. That's his 12th marker, which means he contributed almost half the entire output of San Miguel so far. With 1 second to go, Kennedy uncorks and misses, and we'll be ready with the second quarter right after this.